This episode of the D-Lew Podcast is brought to you by Goalie Nutrition. As someone who's used Goalie for quite some time, I can tell you that they're not only very good, but they're very beneficial. My favorite are the Super Green Gummies. The Super Green Gummies are uniquely crafted with a spectrum of essential nutrients such as vitamins A, B12, folic acid, and thiamine. It supports a healthy liver function, healthy nervous and immune system, digestive health, a boost to your metabolism, and overall health and well-being. There are no artificial sweeteners, flavors, or colors from artificial sources. They're vegan-friendly, gluten-free, and gelatin-free. All loyal listeners of the D-Lew Podcast get a special 10% discount at checkout. Go to goalie.com, use promo code DLEW. That's goalie.com, use promo code DLEW. This podcast is a Believe Network and Siete production. Welcome to another edition of the D-Lew Podcast. I'm your host, Derrick T. Lewis, and yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is official. The D-Lew Podcast is now a part of Believe Network. I signed a contract a couple of weeks ago, and I really couldn't spill the beans just yet, but yesterday it became official. So now you're listening to this podcast, now a part of the Believe Network family. First and foremost, I want to thank Believe Network for really believing in me, believing in the show, and believing in my vision and what I think this show could be and where it's going to go. So sky's the limit, and I look forward to an incredible relationship for years to come. But also last week's episode with Ricardo Rodriguez, again, thank you, Ricardo, for coming out to the show to talk about everything with wrestling and what you're doing with your wrestling school. And I look forward to big things, for this year and beyond for Three Legacies Wrestling. But this week, I have R&B singer from Chicago. His name is Walt Jackson, and he and I met in Miami through Radio Pushers, again, a music promotion company that has done tremendous things for me in my music career. And we had a music conference down there, and so I had a chance to talk to him, getting to know him and his family, and talk about all aspects of his music career and how he got into it. I think he said he took some tuition money and paid for studio equipment. But again, we talked about so much stuff. And again, let's not wait any longer. My interview with Walt Jackson starts right now. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor and a privilege to have recording artist all the way from the Windy City, Chicago, Illinois, the one and only Walt Jackson. Thank you for coming to the D-Lew Podcast. How are you, man?
Hey, man, I'm doing good. Thank you for having me on the D-Lew Podcast. I love it. I love it here.
Awesome,
nice.
Awesome, man. So I know we've known each other a while, and I've interviewed you on another platform. But again,
Yes,
this is gonna be a little bit different than the other one. It was going to get more in depth into your career and all the things that you're doing.
Man, this is the main stage.
Absolutely, man. So right off the bat, I do understand you are, again, like I said before, you are from Chicago. So tell me a little bit about Walt Jackson growing up in Chicago.
All right. So actually, I'm actually originally from Michigan.
Okay.
Yes, I'm actually originally from Michigan, but I moved out to Chicago when I was 14 due to family passing.
I'm sorry to hear about that.
Appreciate it, man. But yeah, I moved out here when I was 14. Chicago when I was 14, and it's been nice, man. I was actually right outside the city, but I get to go to the city all the time. I'm actually in the city every week now.
Okay.
And yeah, no, it's not bad. I mean, the violence is ridiculous, but other than that, it's like anywhere else. You got your good spots, you got your bad spots, and you got your crew. And I got a crew back home I love to kick it with. We do music together, we make hits, and just like you, we're just chasing the dream.
Absolutely, man. And I was gonna ask you, what was it like growing up? I wasn't sure if you were 14 when the Bulls were when they were dominating at the time. I wasn't sure if you were.
I don't even remember. Now I think about it, man, because it's been so long since the Bulls. I don't even want to.
I'm a Bulls fan, by the way. You know what I mean? I'm a Bulls fan.
Yeah, but it's been a minute, so it's like I know they were doing their thing. I remember back when they were doing their thing, back in '96 and everything like that. But now it's like
it's coming.
I'll wait. We're waiting.
Hey, listen.
But,
absolutely.
Shout out to the Lions, though. Shout out to the Detroit Lions. We put them on the map too. It's a hometown.
Okay.
So yeah.
I hear you, man. So, what was the first artist that you heard that made you want to become a fan of music for the very first time?
Michael Jackson, and right after him, Usher. Because I remember it was Michael Jackson I was listening to, but when I seen Usher on I Need a Girl Part 1, and smoked it. So yeah, and I'm reached to sing that song to my moms all the time when I was growing up. My brother would do the rap part, I did the singing part. I was Usher, he was P. Diddy. But Michael Jackson for sure. And shout out to B Major too, because those are, I say MJ and B Major. His name is Major Ali now. Those are my main inspiration. Those guys are beasts. R.I.P. to Michael, but Major Ali still out here doing his thing. Shout out to him, man. Shout out to him.
So what record from Michael was it that made it trigger?
Human Nature.
And
they say why, just tell them that it's human nature, girl. Yeah, that one, so human nature, man, that's, dude, I'm gonna do a cover to one day.
You should, man. That was pretty good.
I love,
and I actually was around when the Thriller album actually came out.
Tell me about that.
Let me tell you something, man. Because Thriller came out in 82.
Okay.
But obviously back then in the 80s, it wasn't like how it is now, where it's like 6 months later and it's all forgotten about. Michael, that was, you figure, it was just a progression of putting out a video for this, and then maybe a few months later put out a video for that. Like, it was to the point that album had so many hits that weren't even like singles or like videos to them.
Yeah.
But just seeing the evolution of Michael and the genius that came from that album. I mean, Off the Wall was great, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But think about it. Thriller came out when Michael was 24 years old.
I'm saying, man.
And the idea of him doing a short film, a short horror film of Thriller.
Yeah.
And I was mesmerized. You know what I mean?
When I was a kid, Thriller scared the heck out of me. I'm not even gonna lie. I saw him.
Oh, the yellow eye, yeah.
No, scared the heck out of me when I was a kid, bro. I was scared I didn't watch it until I was like older. I'm talking like I'm in my teens.
Oh wow.
I was scared. That's much scared me. It was crazy.
Wow. Yeah. Michael was it was different. Yeah, he was very different, and he set himself apart from everybody. And else. That's why he will always be the king of pop, most indefinitely. Rest in peace to him. Yes, indeed. So, when was it that, and I know you said you had your friends, that were, you're making music and things like that. So when was it that when you made the decision to say, hey, I'm going to get into this business, I'm going to become a recording artist? What age was it, and what was it that triggered it?
I would say it was so after my mom passed, I moved out to right outside Chicago with my aunt. And right when I was going to college, I went to college at DePage.
Okay.
They had let's hope I don't indict myself, but I think I told you before, they had gave me some money for classes, like financial aid. Instead of going to class, I took that, bought a whole home studio setup.
Okay.
I had to set it up in this girl's crib that my aunt wouldn't let me do it. She didn't know about it. She found out, so I was gonna get my ass whooped.
No, I get it.
You know what I'm saying? So I had to go set up in this girl's crib, and I'll be recording down there. But I always knew I was gonna do music because again, like growing up, I was in choir. They put me in everything. I was always singing. But I really started taking it serious right to start of college.
Right out of college. Then what was your major?
I was gonna do criminal justice.
Okay.
I was gonna do criminal justice. I was. I actually did want to be a police officer way early young until I figured out, saw some things for how it was. So that changed quick.
I gotcha.
But I again, going to college, I think 17 going on 18. I bought that stuff. I just been recording ever since, and then finally got my own spot, moved everything down to my own spot, and I have my own studio. So I just been recording ever since, and I just want to make the best music. I want to make music that, again, people hear it, it's going to take them out of their element. Whatever they're going through in life, they listen to me or listen to a song I made, and it actually reaches them, puts them in a different place in their mind. The people are going through a lot, so I just want to give them an escape.
And it's funny, I was just talking to another artist about this fairly recently, and then as far as like what our jobs are as artists, and I think is really to create a mood, to make it. And I don't. And you're talking about somebody with me that I'm not only in music, but in film and TV, but also I'm in the pro wrestling business. Our job in the pro wrestling business is to make the fans feel something and remember it, create moments. So in the music space, you're creating music that could be a timestamp for somebody.
Exactly.
I could think about music that I listened to that got me through my high school years. I could think about music that got me through elementary school, middle school, my days of college. I mean? I even made a playlist for the songs that were out when I was in college because it puts me in that frame of mind. Man, like days and nights to just take the bus.
Back.
It brings you back.
Nostalgia.
And you figure in the heyday, you know, before, you know, smartphones and all this other, you could make a playlist on a CD, or you can actually dub a tape or something. But I think it's so easy now to just, all right, you know, create a playlist on whichever streaming device or streaming service of your choosing, and you can just create that playlist and boom, you're there. So to your point, that's our job as creative beings, is to create moments and make them feel something. And it's really, you're going to make them feel good. Even when they're sad, if you're making a breakup song or whatever, ultimately you want to make them still feel good.
Right.
Because it's going to hopefully see the light at the end of the tunnel.
And they'll relate to it. And it's like, it's also to your point too, it's like nowadays, back again, when Michael Jackson was dropping, it felt like everything was digested, nothing was rushed. But nowadays, like you said, today it's like, you drop it, everything's like fly by the night. It's a
microwave society, man.
So it's like you got to make some incredible stuff in the society we're in now, because the way it is now, people, it's like that. So hopefully the music I'm making and what I'm bringing to the table, I want it to last. And that's what I'm aiming for. I'm not looking to make these little pop fly-by records. I want to make something that's going to last. So that's my mentality. Indeed.
And you know what, something also too is like, even if it's not as rapid, at least you're making the quality of it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And this is no shade to anybody that makes that drops a record every month. God bless you. If you have the resources to do it, do it. But if it's somebody that you really want it to let us, you know, marinate a little bit, absolutely. Just like any food. If you're trying to marinate a salmon or whatever, you want to make sure that it stays and that it soaks up.
Exactly.
Whatever, if it's lemon juice or whatever it is, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everything's relatable to food, right?
Lemon pepper chicken, yep.
Exactly. Now, talk about the experience making your very first record. What was that experience like for you, and what was the name of that first record?
I'm trying to think. So there's my very first record that didn't come out. I don't remember the name of it, but man, it was horrible. And then there's the first record that I put out. I can remember that. It was called All the Things. And then there is really Under the Light. I feel like Under the Light would be like the real first record I put out. And it was great because the people around me, it really let them know, and it let me know that I had talent. You know? So it's like, you can tell it to yourself all the time, and you got to believe in yourself, because no matter who's around you, the biggest battle you're going to have is not with anybody outside. It's going to be on the inside. It's going to be interior. So if you can get past that person inside of you that's telling you that you can't, and you beat that person, then there's nothing that's going to stop you. So, again, I got past that part with the person inside of me telling me I couldn't do it, because I was scared to put out music for a long time. Once I did that,
I can agree,
I got the reception, and the reception was good. And from there, I just kept going. And nothing's going to stop me.
It's that first hurdle. And I mean, I battled that for years. Because
everybody does.
Yeah, it's
everybody
crazy.
has it.
Because you're constantly wondering, well, this person's doing this or this person's doing that, and it's like, well, how am I going to navigate? How am I going to get into that?
You don't see the road there.
No,
you just see the end line. You know, but nobody's going to show you the road there. They're not going to show you that.
I mean, and that's learning the ropes of the music business. And I always tell people all the time, it's like, listen, you know, it's all about trial and error. So maybe if you're going to try something and maybe it may not connect, that's fine.
Right.
But you have to find, and it's almost like you're putting it, you're fine tuning everything.
Exactly.
Tightening up the screws a little bit. And once you figure it out, like, okay, I could try this now. Like, I learned, like, yesterday was 6 years that I had dropped my first record.
Yeah.
And was it great? It was okay. For my first record, something I had been putting aside for years, hey man, it was put me on a pedestal to go somewhere else.
Which record was that?
It was Selfish Pride.
Selfish Pride.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a ballad. It was an R&B ballad that I did, and it was only supposed to have been a one-time thing where it's like, all right, I'm going to do this one song, and that's it. And then it was like, okay, I'm not done now.
You're not done.
You're not done.
Yeah.
And I'm not making it about me. I'm just trying to how it's going to correlate. So what I ended up doing is that when I was writing and recording my following record, it took a while to do, but I was learning what not to do from my previous. So I just feel as though that as you're progressing, you're just saying, okay, what can I do next? And you're getting better, and then you're just kind of it's process of elimination of things that you don't want to do, and thus the evolution of the artist happens. So
I mean, if you think about it, if you stopped, there would be no every second.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
right.
It's like to the guys that you didn't stop. So thank God for that, because it's like, yo, you got to keep going. And again, who know, the thing that's exciting to me, which I'm sure is exciting for you too, is the fact, okay, you got Every Second, which is fire record.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
But what's next? And then what's next is that's exciting.
Yeah.
You're gonna make something else that's some heat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, that's the most exciting thing to me. Beating myself.
That, and you know what though, that's the ultimate goal. It's like I look at myself in the mirror and say, okay, that's the guy I'm competing with. Exactly. I'm not competing with anybody else. Man. I'm not competing with any other artist but me.
Because these outside voices, they don't mean nothing, because they don't know what you got going on. They don't know what you're doing or what your life is about. So it's like they can't tell you nothing.
Absolutely.
But the battle with yourself, that's the main battle, man. So I don't listen to nothing else. I'm just like, yo, let's do this.
Absolutely. Now you alluded to it just a little bit, but I'll dive in. Now I know you said as far as family and your friends, giving you feedback. What has been that feedback, if you can go into it, from your family and friends regarding any of your records that you've released?
I would say, man, they telling me that I sound like I mean, it's nice to be told that I sound like, a professional artist, or I sound like this guy, I sound like that guy. I get Chris Brown a lot. I get other names. I don't want to throw names out there because I feel like I'm my own individual. But it's nice to be compared to other artists that are highly successful. I just want to do it in my own right, and I want to be in my own lane. So when I hear the compliments, it's great. Especially when people tell me that my music does this for them, or they tell me they got it on repeat. It's great. It's great, and it's weird also because sometimes like you'll get these compliments and you kind of feel numb to it because it's like, but you don't always see the effect that your music has, and I think it's important to realize that, even though you may not see it or people are telling to you and you'll be like, yeah, okay, I feel it, but you don't really feel that way. Somebody you don't really believe it, but right. I know for a fact that my music has actually touched people. So even if it's on a small scale, medium scale, and it gets to the large scale, whatever it is, the fact that I touched somebody and I can say that for a fact, it's kind of cool.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
And as a fellow artist, I totally agree.
You feel me?
Yeah, because
it's pretty cool.
When someone can tell you, I mean, to your point, when someone says, "I have your song on repeat,"
it's kind of crazy.
It is, because I'm just like, I have songs on repeat for like my favorite artists. You know what I mean? But to be able to have somebody that knows you, that are seeing you from the sidelines, and I don't mean the sidelines as a bad thing, but I'm just talking about just outside the music bubble. Yeah. But seeing you work and seeing you do things, and it's saying, man, I shared this with somebody, or I shared this with that, or I shared this with that. Just like you and your wife yesterday when we met, and you was like, yo, she listened to my record. I'm like, really? And you saw my expression. I'm just like, really? I was like, wow.
It's like that. It never seems to get, it's like a feeling in your stomach. It's pretty cool. And especially again, like you said, no disrespect to, but when you're on the outside, they don't know everything that goes into it. No. And it's a lot. It's a lot. And like, just, again, you're creating something out of nothing. Right. You're creating something out of nothing, and you're creating like you said, a mood. You're creating a feeling. You're creating a vibe out of nothing. Right. And I think it's one of to me, I love all fashions, but I think to me that's why I love it so much, because it's nothing like it. Creating something out of nothing and something that's just sonically pleasing to the ears. And again, music is so powerful. Yes. You've seen what music's so powerful. So just to be in that field, I love it, man. So it's like no matter what I'm doing, I'm always gonna make music. Always.
There you go. And that was a perfect segue to my next question. Was what have been some of the ups and the downs, or the highs and the lows that you've experienced in your career so far?
I would say the ups would be just, I think the highest up for me is the fact that I've impressed myself, because I remember back when I was a kid, I didn't think I was going to be able to make the type of music that I'm making. Right. I got a lot of stuff in the tuck. Right. A lot of stuff that's up. So I think the highest is just impressing myself, impressing other people too, because I've impressed people, but impressing myself has been the highest. And I would say the lows is just... you could relate. Just the lows it's not really been like a low. I mean, other than just certain people reaching out, certain I would say famous people reaching out and you thinking that it's gonna be like this or that, but it ends up not being that. But that's what the music business is, You got to get used to that. But I would say the lows are just, for me, that's whatever, because I'm cool. I got a great life, and I'm doing what I love. But I would say the lows would be when I'm in the studio and I believe I have a hit, and I'm recording it, and it's not coming out the way I want it to come out. I hate that.
Yeah.
I hate that.
And
that's the worst thing to me.
But also, too, it could be a blessing in disguise because now you can at least go back to the drawing board.
Exactly.
And
if you got the right energy, you got the right mindset,
right.
you got to keep going.
And also, too, if you really think about it, you go back to the drawing board and you figure out the most simplistic thing. And it's like, why wasn't I thinking this before?
But sometimes that simplistic thing don't come.
Exactly.
Like, you just sit there being overthinking it, and I'll be like, right. But sometimes it'll take, because I always write my own music, but sometimes it'll take somebody else to come and they'll just do something. I'm like, oh, hold on a minute. So it depends, but it's just like, yeah. Now, to me, it's always about the music. So me, the highs and lows are always going to be in the studio.
This episode of the D-Lew Podcast is brought to you by Goalie Nutrition. As someone who's used Goalie for quite some time, I can tell you that they're not only very good, but they're very beneficial. My favorite are the Super Green Gummies. The Super Green Gummies are uniquely crafted with a spectrum of essential nutrients such as vitamins A, B12, folic acid, and thiamine. It supports a healthy liver function, healthy nervous and immune system, digestive health, a boost to your metabolism, and overall health and well-being. There are no artificial sweeteners, flavors, or colors from artificial sources. They're vegan-friendly, gluten-free, and gelatin-free. All loyal listeners of the D-Lew Podcast get a special 10% discount at checkout. Go to goalie.com, use promo code DLEW. That's goalie.com, use promo code DLEW. Now, describe. Now, I know you said in far as comparison to some some artists that you've people have compared yourself to. So, what would you say your musical style is overall? Stylistically,
I definitely got some MJ in my voice. I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I heard.
I definitely got some MJ in my voice because that's my biggest inspiration. But I would say my style overall is just R&B, but it's new school. It's kind of like an R&B popish.
Right.
It's new school. It's really it feels current. It feels current. I would say. So it's just something that's like I'm really not in a bubble. I'm just gonna make something that sounds hot. Like whether it can be me rapping or low voicing it. Falsettoing high notes. I'll really just say my genre is just vibe. I'm gonna go with the vibe. I find the right beat, or again, my engineer Beats by Levi makes the perfect beat. I'm gonna match the vibes. So really, I'm just matching vibes.
Let's talk about your team for a little bit. So, name some of the engineers or producers that you've worked with.
Oh, yes, sir. Let me shout out first and foremost Beats by Levi. Number one, he's the machine behind everything I do.
Okay,
that's my brother. He makes incredible music. He sings himself too. He's an artist as well, but his passion is making beats and making vibes.
Right.
He's a GOAT. So I'm actually about to link him with him after this. But yeah, check out Beats by Levi. He's amazing. It's the machine behind me. Shout out to John Bosco. Shout out to Dreads. These are just amazing guys that are just rappers in their own field. I mean, Bosco, this dude he's London, he's Ghanaian, but he's also from London.
London, yeah.
And he's got that accent, and you can hear it in his voice, man. Like when he's making music, it's like dude's you can call dude a rapper, but dude is just melodic. Dude's just melodic, so he's different, man. He's got that what's that Afro beats melodic vibe to him that it's just like dude's gonna do his thing. So we all got our own podcast. And the Dreads, dude just spits bars. I mean, he's a natural rapper, and he's got a record coming out soon too. So shout out to him. But yeah, I just got a circle of people that we all have the same passion, and we're all grinding. And I know I'm gonna get where I need to get, and I know they will too. So.
That's an important element that you just hit the nail right on the head on when you talk about making, as far as the people that are around you. Yeah. And really, because a lot of times, man, and we've all made these mistakes where we're bringing someone along and it's like, then their heart isn't really into it. At all. And then when they find out the real work that goes into this business, and you find it a lot, and there's, it's just one of those things. Is like especially when you're not meeting deadlines, for example. Yeah. Whatever it is, and I have to find out. But also too, once you figure out who your tribe is, and it's all about the journey, and that's the beautiful part about. And I'm even learning this now, even as an actor, and even in pro wrestling. Yeah. Is the fact that. Do I want to work for WWE or AEW? Yes. Yeah. Do I want to, be on set for film with Dwayne Johnson or Sylvester? Well, I technically was in a movie with Sylvester Stallone, but I wasn't on set with him. Yeah. You know what I mean? You get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Do I want to do?
You've done a few films. I see it.
Yeah.
You've done a few things. Yeah.
But do I want to do a record with, I don't know, Deadmau5 or Tiesto or whatever? Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
But I'm enjoying more of the journey now, and I'm appreciating the journey a lot more now.
Yeah.
Because these are teachable moments.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're teachable moments, and getting back to what you said and how it all correlates. You know, having that circle and having the right people in the pocket with you, in the trenches with you, because it's all gelling and you're all growing together, and it's gonna happen for sure.
And you have like and I'm sure you've seen this too. You have a lot of people that you'll be on your journey, or you're trying to get your destination, and there are certain people that just won't take it, like you said, as serious,
right?
Or they'll, once you start showing some results, then they want to pop back in. Keep them out. Keep them outside.
Yeah, to quote Jack Burns from Meet the Parents, and once you're out the circle of trust, there's no coming back.
Yeah. Keep them outside. And you know what I'm talking. You already know what I'm talking about, man.
Yeah.
People that want to come around.
Yeah, indeed.
See you doing your thing. Oh, hey, Derrick T.
Yeah, no, exactly. So on your music though,
yes, sir.
Where does it fit in the realm of R&B? Like, where do you feel where it fits in that realm?
I can compare it to, I would say, just the new school. I mean, I can compare it to Tiller a lot, but I would just say new soul. New soul. Like, I got this record named called Fever. I would and that one right there reminds me it's just new soul. It's current, but I wouldn't say it's too slow paced. It's fast paced enough where it's just like your head's gonna keep bobbing. Your head's gonna keep bobbing, and
right.
I have a real voice. I don't need auto-tune. I could use that. I don't need it, but I have a real voice. You see me live, I'm gonna sound the exact same. I sound, if not better. So it's just like when it comes to it, I'm just gonna hit your soul. I'm gonna hit your ears, no matter what I do. So
now, when you're the writing process.
Yes, sir.
Now, take me through it. You got an idea, but now it's time to put everything on paper.
Okay.
What's that process like for you?
For
me, breaking that down.
For me, everything I write is, especially if I'm putting it out, it's going to be from a real place. So it's something that I experienced at some point in my life. So usually it'll be the beat first. If I hear the beat, it's going to take me somewhere in my life that I've dealt with. And something that I know is going to be relatable to someone else. Because I want to relate to everybody out here. I don't want to just make something that's personal for me, but you're going to listen to it and be like, what's he talking about? Now, I want to relate. So as soon as I hear the beat, if it's the right experience that's relatable and I know people have gone through this, I'm going to sing about it. So I would just say the beat first and then the penmanship after. You know,
and that you say that, we're in the people business.
Yes, sir.
So I think relatability is key.
It's number one.
Because I could sing about stuff that I could totally fabricate about a lifestyle that I don't necessarily live, and maybe the top 1% might.
Yeah.
But if I'm talking to the rest of the population, I want to be able to be relatable to everybody, because
and every second you want to make it count. That's relatable, right?
Yeah, it is
relatable, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. So, thanks for the shout out for my song, man. I appreciate it, man.
Hard record, bro.
I appreciate it, and a lot went into making that record, and you know, I have maybe one episode I'll talk about the process on what I had to do and all the loops I had to jump through to get.
Videos out on YouTube.
Yeah, it's on YouTube, so definitely check it out. In what ways do you think that the R&B genre has evolved over the years?
I don't think R&B. I don't think R&B is bad. I just think that there's a lot of music out here that is. I really don't. There's like a stigma that like music is. And I don't want to talk about how we were talking about Michael Wavell, but there's a stigma out here that music is just not like real real quick, real like it's
right,
real,
right,
you know
right.
what I'm saying? Like it's real like it's real easy, it's real simple, there's no talent in it, but there's a lot of talent artists out here. You just gotta look for it. So I would say now R&B is not in a bad state. I just think that it's not in the forefront. Right now it seems like it's majority hip hop. But if you can find a way to, again, if you go R&B and mix it in with some pop, if you go on that, nothing's beating that. We just saw Taylor Swift. How many albums she saw?
It's insane.
It's insane. Like anybody in hip hop, they're not touching it. So this whole argument that R&B and hip hop is number one, no, what's number one is the best song. So I think you just make the best records out here. no matter what genre you're in. If you're making something that people can't turn off, you make undeniable music. If you're making some music like Michael Jackson, you think people are gonna not listen to it today?
Oh, I mean, you
know
go to a bar, you go to a nightclub or wherever. The DJ's gonna play at least one MJ song.
You know what I'm saying?
Even if it's just his vocals on a modern beat, you're still gonna hear it regardless because it's timeless. Like you said, it's timeless. Absolutely.
So it's just like if you get in the studio, you're making the best music. I mean, we have Michael Jackson's records from the 80s, 70s still playing now. So if you can make some good music, I don't think it's gonna stop you. It's gonna stop anybody. So that's just the mindset that people put themselves in. But
think about it. Think about it. I Want to Rock With You. The Off the Wall album came out in 1979.
You know what I'm saying? Still playing now. If it was a bad record, it wouldn't be playing now.
I mean, and it sounds modern.
It sounds amazing
because Michael was 25 years
ahead
of everybody else.
You know what I'm saying? So just like Tupac, still playing.
Yeah.
So it's just like this whole thing about like whether genres or this is dead or R&B is dead. No, just make some fire music. You're gonna get played. That's how I feel.
And really put your time and put the time and effort into everything.
Yeah, just make some real music. Make some real music. That's what you're doing. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to make no microwavable stuff. So if you're making microwavable stuff,
it's gonna burn.
Of course you're gonna feel that way, right?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So
right.
Yeah, man.
Well, a couple more questions here, and we're gonna get out of here. I know you're a family man.
Yes, sir.
So just tell us a little bit about Walter, the family man.
Hey, this is Walter right here, the family man. I'm a proud father, proud husband, and I have two little youngins, man. They're a force to be reckoned with. I'm saying this right now. Damon Omari Jackson. Anything I'm gonna do in life, he's gonna do tenfold. So I'm just setting the doorway for him because I know exactly what he's gonna do. He loves music. I know he's going to be a monster. So just Damon Omari Jackson. It's daddy's turn right now, but when it's your turn, you can take front seat. But right now, I'm in the front seat.
All right.
Kyron, just have fun for right now.
There he is. Yeah, I actually met his wife and kids last night. They're incredible family, man. Incredible family.
The wife, Josephine, I love you. Say that.
Awesome. I appreciate that. That's awesome. I appreciate that you showing love to the wife. You got to do that. Hey, happy wife, happy life. I'm not trying to get nobody in trouble on the D-Lew podcast. You know what I mean? Seriously.
Yes, sir.
Now, any upcoming projects you have right now?
So, I actually am working on, I guess I'm going to say about 7 songs. It's going to be a project. I don't know exactly what I'm going to call it yet, but I do know that the songs, every single one of them is going to be fire. I'm going to be releasing at least 3 more songs before the year is up, but just expect next year. I'm finally going to put out an actual project. That's all people keep telling me. Like, I've been dropping singles, and I'm enjoying dropping singles because I know, like, it's heat. Check it out. But I want to do an official project. And it's not going to be full albums. Like I said, it's going to be like 6, 7 songs. It's going to be an extended play. It's going to be an EP. Me and Levi are working on it, but it's going to be nothing but fire. And I guarantee you, when you listen to it, you're going to love it. You're going to love it.
On that note, though, and I'm glad you brought this up, a full album versus an EP.
Yeah.
What are the pros and cons as an artist do you feel about a full album versus an EP?
Man, I don't want to misquote the great Nip, but I know he said something that stuck with me about doing it a certain way until you get signed so you got the leverage. And it was something about him not dropping the album yet. He was only doing mixtapes until he had signed. And somehow, I don't want to say it wrong, but I just know that I don't want to drop any albums until I have a fan base large enough that's begging for it, or I'm signed to the right way where I can leverage it right. Because these labels will get you. So I've already seen what happens with these labels. I just want to do it the right way. And when I do end up going for a deal, or if I stay independent and I end up getting it that way, because either way I'm going to get it.
Right.
I want to make sure that the album comes out at the right time. Like, once I have enough people where I know they're feeling for an album, it's going to make me want to go crazy. So just like, yeah, I just want to make some real good now, the best work I can make now. And then after that, I'm going to make the best work again, which is going to be better. So I'm just going to keep getting better.
Awesome, man. And last question is for you is, well, it's actually a two-parter almost, but where can they find you on social media, website, or anything like that?
Everywhere, Walt Jackson. Instagram is the only difference. It's going to be Walt.Jackson, but you can find me everywhere. I'm talking every social media profile, every distributor, Spotify, Apple Music, anywhere. Walt Jackson. You can find me there. and you'll like what you find. So check me out.
Also, and one more thing before we get out of here, what's the one record right now that you want everyone that may not know who you are to listen to so they can get the familiarity with you and be a part of your journey?
If I had to pick one, because I had one that's I'm doing right now, but it's not out yet, but I like it. But I had to pick one out. Go check out Chicago Model. Check out Chicago Model. It's real upbeat. It's different, but I think you'll like it. It's gonna, from what I've heard, and the girls that have told me they listen to it, they can't stop playing it. So that's the one that's been on repeat for them. So yeah, check it out. Check out Chicago Model, out everywhere.
All right, man. Well, we're going to wrap this one up now, but thank you so much for coming out to the D-Lew Podcast.
I'm sitting with a legend here, so thank you. No, thank you.
Oh, man, I would definitely appreciate it.
You've done a lot in this game, and it's just nice to sit and talk to you because you got a lot of knowledge, man, so appreciate you.
Hey, man, pressure's all mine, man. We'll definitely be talking soon.
Yes, sir.
All right, take care.
Yes, sir.
Well, that does it for this week's edition of the D-Lew Podcast. Again, I want to thank Walt Jackson for coming out to talk to us about all things that he's doing with his music career, and I'm wishing him all the best in what he's continuing to do. Again, whichever music platform you're loyal to, make sure you tap in with Walt Jackson. That is one talented dude. And again, I'm very lucky to have gotten to know him, and again, wishing him and his family all the best. But let's get back to Believe Network for just a second so I can just really explain how this all came to be. This was a crazy 3 weeks, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you right now. All that happened is that I reached out to them, and they reached out. They just reached back out to me. And we got the ball rolling, and they heard my episode with Chrissy, and the talent manager that was there, she really enjoyed it, and she thought I would be a good fit. But of course, we just had to talk. And once we got things going, and I think contract, which I really can't talk about, but they went well. And I was basically holding on to this information for like a couple of weeks. As a matter of fact, I had to go out to LA, as I stated in last week's episode, for another reason that I can't talk about, that I will reveal probably within another month. I was given an opportunity to take a tour of Believe Network Studios and shoot some content in which you can actually see on all of my social media. And just meeting everyone there at the studio, they welcomed me with open arms. They were very, very kind, very generous, and very welcoming. And that was something that really meant the world to me. They didn't treat me like I was a stranger, even though I was a total stranger that they had never met before. But the fact is that I'm now a part of the family. And again, I'm so excited for the future of what this show could be. And the sky's the limit, man. So again, happy is an understatement right now. I'm really, really excited about the things to come. But anyways, before we get out of here, again, you can definitely visit my store, okay? All the merch that's on my store, t-shirts and hoodies, shop.derricklewis.com, okay? You can visit me on my social media, so Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok at The Real DT-Lew. You can go to my Facebook page, Derrick T. Lewis official page. Also, too, don't forget, subscribe on my YouTube channel, okay? You can just look up Derrick T. Lewis, The Real DT-Lew. You can go right there. You'll be able to see not only episodes of the podcast, you can also see some of, obviously, my music videos, as well as some of my actor reels as well. So you get a chance to see all aspects of what I do. So, again, I'm going to get out of here. And again, whatever you do in life, always remember to make it count. See you next time.